So, welcome back to another scene for Darkness Over Dublin, the Changeling venue, where we will be picking up the morning after, as saith the title, where Bride's had himself an incident, and then a lot of the people close to him, and at least one straggler, had more incidents in the Autumn world. And as we left off, they had been left on a Baron's Autumn side estate, mostly to keep Red somewhere safe while he recovered from his chimerical death. And, well, various tactics were used to keep him, there in the nice, safe place. And the result of at least some of these tactics are that the pair, both the satyr and the clericon, will be waking in the Baron's estate in this nice, soundproof bedroom with things have been scattered. The bed is a wreck. The blankets are like all kinds of catty corner sideways. Clothes have been flung everywhere. There are definite signs of debauchery, and I imagine the pair of them are waking up like flopped all manner of awkwardly. Her probably half on top of him. Who even knows, really? But whatever the case, she'll be finally stirring and rubbing at her eyes, and we'll say she gets at least a brief advantage on him and kind of looks around, looks at the clothes that have been flung in all manner of directions, looks at the bedding that has been flung around. There's a pillow on the other side of the room. Who knows why? We're not going to go into it. And then kind of looks down at the massive leprechaun that she's laid half on top of, and just kind of entertains herself with a bit of a grin, like, huh, well, that happened. But very, very giddy, very sated, very happy satyr. And she'll reach over and kind of ruffle his, well, I guess mohawk, at least on this side. See if he wakes up a little. It's not a rough motion. Just kind of reaches over and threads her fingers into it and gives the hair a bit of a ruffle to see if he'll stir at all.
He shoots awake. Those emerald green eyes open.
Like shoots up awake or just
Yeah, up we go. Just woof.
She flops over as the thing she was laying half on top of goes abruptly upright. So there's kind of a boof.
He looks around, like almost like the head moves from side to side, like a 360 no scope,
You seem yourself again. Kind of ruffles her own hair at this point. Because after all, at this point, she would see the echo of him chimerically again. Very reassuring. Good for the soul, really.
He quickly checks his pocket watch and he just suddenly starts standing up and like he falls off the bed essentially.
She like shrugs herself around, propped on her belly, elbows on the bed, looking down at the buck naked Clearcon and kind of breaking a brow. You okay?
Yeah, just okay. Where the fuck are me? Starts trying on his underwear and his pants.
I was gonna say she kind of points off in a direction, like the far side of the room. I think your pants are over there.
Yeah, he just leaps up, moving quite fast, quite panicked.
She goes from like kind of teasing to more of a concerned expression and finally pulls herself out of the bed and begins fetching bits of clothing, pulling them back on. Is everything okay?
All right, tell me exactly what happened. Don't spare any detail.
How much do you...
Don't spare any detail. takes a breath. I'm serious, Bambi. Tell me everything.
And she's kind of tucking her pants up over them hips. Uh, Starting where?
Rubs his forehead. Where I got kicked.
Oh, you,
Just
makes her a little more morose.
keep me in the loop. Just give me the basic rundown.
Okay. I heard you hit the stall door and go into the aisle and, came running, but I reached for you and you faded. I thought you were dead. You kind of were. Um, Tintagel said it was called chimerical death and that the rest of you was here, but wasn't safe because there are things that eat us, and that you appearing over here like that, they would be hunting you. So we came. I found you over, the pub, the one we always go to. And there was this thing. Tintagel saw it first. I think he called it. I don't remember if he called it. He said it was bad, that it ate our guts, and that its fingers would be like knives. Be careful. So we came into the bar, and the pub, and you were sitting at the bar, and it was sitting right next to you, talking to you. So I did the only thing I could think of, and
All right, fast forward it. Click his fingers. That's lining up what I'm thinking. Is he's
okay. So we
putting on
talked,
his shoes?
and I got you into a taxi, and we started booking it. Going anywhere else, somewhere safer. So I was going to take you to one of my dreamers, to where they hold parties, just to kind of get you out of sight. But they were following us, so we had to change tacks to come here, and we changed, you know, and I bribed the driver to go faster, and we nearly crashed, and then the car flew. You were going on about steam, but it just kind of leapt into the air, like a good 2 stories even, and floated back down. And so you tossed the driver out. She was knocked out or something, and I guess maybe she was hurt. But yeah, then we started running. But then it wasn't just the gas, there were police and whatnot. So we ran and you drove, and the police followed us when you went to cut through an alley to lose them. So I grew vines into the engines of their cars to stall them out. Worked. And we came here. And it was, I'm sure it was strange from your perspective, but something about the right of rescue meant that you got to stay here until you
Right.
were better.
So how much trouble am I in?
Um, I don't know. I don't know that you're in any. That taxi driver was hurt, but I fixed her. And it's not like you knew what was going on. How could you? So
Look, that Tintagel bitch slapped us in public.
we did.
So if there's any blame, I'll take it all.
You're no. If there's something wrong with what I did, I'll own up to it. What's he gonna
No.
do? You didn't know what was happening. He knows that.
Fucking unicorn.
God.
I'll get even, don't you worry. Smiles to himself. Oh, I got a plan. Oh, I'm gonna ruin its life.
She finally brightens up just a little bit because, well, at least he seems happy about something.
Oh, don't you worry, Bambi. Wild Rides is gonna get his own back on that fucking thing.
I hated it so much.
Don't you worry. He better have bought it, because if he hasn't, I'm gonna go buy it myself.
With what?
I have money.
I don't know if they take.
I will take it, or I will challenge to take it. I'm getting my vengeance.
Okay.
He kind of rubs himself.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she'd just let you in there again if you wanted round two.
He just rubs at himself. I don't feel great.
You don't? You said you'd be, heavier.
Feel it. Feel. He puts on his shirt.
You can stay at my camp. Maybe it'll help to be
I need to
close
go.
to something.
I need to go home first.
Okay.
Flicks his pocket watch again. I'm gonna let you roll some empathy.
I will.
Do it.
Ugh. Need to. Jesus Christ, flipping between so many characters today. That one maybe. There we go. So, P and E. Why is it always 5 on like all of my characters? That is 3 successes. Oh no, 2 successes.
He's really worried about something. I mean, it's not just worry, it's panic and concern. And the first time you've ever seen Rides the Lightning, flustered.
And she'll walk over to him, kind of pulling her shirt down over her belly and whatnot, tugging it into place. But, a comparatively very small hand up on his arm, or, as close to his shoulder as she can readily reach. Hey, it'll be okay.
Okay, you've told me your day. That's important. As he walks by, as he's again puts his foot in the bed and starts to tie his shoelaces.
She just kind of looks, especially like she puts the hand on his shoulder and he almost immediately moves out from under it. So
He just seems, he feels your touch, but he just seems so focused. You know what I mean?
yeah, she wanders around, eventually finds her shoes and just slips them on.
And ties his other shoe. Okay, she told me her day, and I can explain to her, and everything's fine, Rides. Everything's fine.
I'm gonna P&A that shit.
You can, yeah, most certainly, Katie.
Since he's muttering aloud, and that is a lot of success.
You hear all with 4. I think you need 3 to hear the whole conversation.
Yes.
For 4, yeah, you hear all that. You hear all of that.
I mean, if he was more alert to his surroundings, he might see her little, her floppy little goat ears give a twitch. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine. No, everything's completely fine. Just need to get home, that's all. Important.
She's studying him.
He goes over to the dresser and looks around. Takes another look around and he picks up that necklace with a ring on it and puts it over his head.
Ooh, he took it off?
I imagine it would have came off.
Yeah, probably. That, and I guess to Tristan it didn't mean anything, so...
Yep. Like, he looks frantically for a while, like things get upturned, and he just picks it up very tenderly and wraps it around his neck.
And she's just watching him, the big doe eyes, but still just kind of watching and studying. Staying fairly quiet, but clearly concerned.
You see, as he puts the necklace on, he stares at the ring and just goes, okay. We're all right. It's not a bad day. It's not a bad day. If she knows the story, it's not a bad day. She's gonna know everything's fine. She's gonna be safe. Says to himself. You can roll perception on this to try and hear that.
Roll again.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Can't just let
but
me write off my killer roll.
no.
Okay, I got 2.
You would have heard with 2 successes you hear bad day, everything's fine, it's a good day, if she knows.
Yeah. She's, again, the ears give kind of a twitch. What she remembers the last time she asked about the ring. She can only fathom. Okay.
He
Let's,
finds his, leather jacket and I would say denimish leather jacket and throws it over his shoulders and looks over his head. Are you alright?
yeah.
Looks around the room and gives a nervous little smile. I guess we tore the place apart then.
That finally snaps her out of it a bit. There's a big, admittedly kind of sheepish grin because she kind of feels bad not knowing how much he's aware of as far as the whole thing.
It's a lining up in my head, I think. He kind of rubs the back of his head.
I mean,
It's like 2 sides of myself are trying to reorganize, so, you know what I mean? Smiles awkwardly.
for what it's worth, it was a pretty good night.
I'm glad.
So we should go.
You thump over. Lifts her chin up to him. Thanks for taking care of me.
Of course. You always take care of me.
I'm sorry for scaring you.
She does the whole thing where you kind of look away, uh, rubs at her face a little bit. It's not like she's welling up with tears that fast or anything. Just kind of, even thinking about it is upsetting enough to make for the reflexive motion.
And our problem is to be careful to a point and think out of my plan a bit better.
Just scared me.
I'm sorry.
She'll reach up and pat his bushy cheek.
He reached
You're
out and
okay.
kissed her on the top of the forehead.
You're okay. And we'll figure it out. The heaviness.
I'll stay with yours. I have to get home.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get you home.
Just intertwine. He oddly just puts his arm around her. As
Yeah,
you're
okay.
going to open,
Oh,
as
go
you're going
ahead.
to, as you're going to open the door, he turns and looks around again. Everything. He almost kind of stops himself.
She'll pause. Glancing back at him, trying to kind of suss out his thought line, really.
Peony, Katie.
Gonna.
Depending on how many successes you
Oh,
have.
son of a bitch, none.
Can't read it. He's just too deep in thought.
But he's looking over the carnage, and she can't.
Mm-hmm.
She just can't figure out the emotional state associated with it to get an idea of the thought line. So she pauses, kind of looking back. Honestly, kind of worried he'll be annoyed with her.
He turns and looks over at her. I'm real peony on her. Changing up the game.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, that's 2.
One. Two.
Yeah. She looks like not afraid by any means. She's only looked like properly startled and perhaps afraid the one time when he, gave her a good yelling at. But no, she just looks worried.
Leans down and he plants her a very tender kiss on the lips. then not a full-on snog, but very tender, and then looks back. It's not for that reason.
And by the time he pulls back, she's kind of got that faint kind of yeah grin going because I mean memories though, fresh ones.
It's not for that reason.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. As long as we're still okay.
We're okay. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing to do with you, Bambi. I'm just a bit. It's something else. Something that you can't ask any questions on.
She might have even started to open her mouth to say something, but especially as he says the last bit, she decides that even the sentiment is inappropriate and just kind of closes her mouth again and nods, pertly.
Okay? Okay?
Yeah.
Just nods to himself and gives her a pat on the cheek.
But I don't want to hold you up. Let's go back. You seem really upset, worried.
I'll meet you at your place.
Okay.
Put on some food, will you? I'll be hungry.
Put on some food. Okay. I should have a little something there so I can. Oh, I can always. You know what? I'll do that. Kind of
Turn
gets the little
take,
like haughty head tip, like I'm just gonna do this. That's what I'm gonna do.
takes her hand and looks at her. I take it this is a place you're not meant to tell me about. Or other people.
I mean, you can know.
But other people.
Not other people. They're. I don't know. It seems special.
Then my lips are sealed. If you don't ask me questions about why I'm worried.
He catches the tiniest ear droop because it's. I mean, how could she not want to know? It's a pretty predictable kind of response. But there's a dutiful nod.
I'm just asking you to trust me, okay? Same ways I'm trusting you.
I wouldn't violate your trust.
Good. Reaches up and kisses the top of her hand.
And yeah, again, she just gets that faint little grin.
Yeah. Go on. Let's move. Slaps from the ass.
She doesn't bleat this time. He doesn't get the bleat, but
Nah.
there's kind of a little no. But she gets the slap, and there's kind of a boof, and yeah, she careens into motion.
He follows behind her, moving quite quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she will be clipping pretty prompt, like especially if she can hear him keeping like pace as close as he can. She
Like,
will speed up appropriately.
Imagine for every 4 feet he takes 2. You know what I mean? It's that
Yeah.
type of thing.
It's like one of his steps for every 2 of hers, so she starts clipping a little quicker, but I'm sure they will find their way to a trot.
You get the impression if Bambi wasn't here, he'd have ran out of this place.
Yeah. She will actually probably, once they get, out of a hallway, even sidestep so that he can kind of take his pace.
Oh, he's going. Doesn't run, but he's moving with purpose and speed.
Yeah, very well. Then do you want to close it as they head to the trot?
He'll turn and give her a smile and a wave and mouth, "I'll be back later, all right?"
Yeah.
And goes.
And I will say that she will pause in leaving, even once he's gone, and turn back to make sure that she thanks the Baron appropriately again for his hospitality. And to, utter a kind word here and there to the various boggins that are working indoors because, well, they were nice at least, and the knockers are just completely beyond her ken. So, yeah, I suppose with her making a point of doing a last round of very polite farewells, they will move on, and there we can end our scene.